loyal that it's to a default that's kind of how they lost their life, for being loyal. Too loyal, because you're loyal to people who don't give a care about you. 6 months after I lost my son, I got pregnant. I was done having kids, but the pregnancy didn't even stop me from trying to chase and man, you know, because I couldn't even fathom that I was burying my only son.
I've been to prison. I carried my best friends into a fucking hole. I done seen my mama cry in a courtroom, bro. I done seen the inside of it.
I had to see my son's killer at the funeral.
Wow.
I love what you're doing with the pushing the peace movement, but how do you do that when snakes be standing right next to you calling themselves friends? I left Chicago for 6 years because if I wouldn't have left, I wouldn't be talking to you today. I would be in the penitentiary, because that's how relentless my pursuit was in trying to murder my son's killer.
Wow.
Neighborhood, Flipside. How did we get Flipside?
I don't claim Flipside.
Right.
I'm 93rd, bro.
Right. Who you're around and who in your ear plays a huge part in your healing journey. If I married the game, what do I expect gonna happen? How he was a husband at home, the streets are still attached to him. That's so
what you put in the universe gonna come back.
right here.
That drill shit ain't take you nowhere but right there, bro.
You know, mental health is real. You gotta do something for your mental state.
Look! This is the eye of the trenches!
My son Dante McKinney passed away from gun violence in Chicago some years back, but we still, how many are we at today? 13 years today. Right. So we come out here every year to the headstone. Normally we release balloons or whatever, but it's a lot more prior to us getting to this point.
A whole lot more.
A whole lot more.
Before and after.
You could start too.
You could elaborate on that a little bit, brother?
Me and bro grew up together on 93rd, Woodlawn, Avalon, specifically Avalon and Woodlawn. And shit, as we got older, you know, we were on Dobson, Ellis, Greenwood to be exact. Just from Cottage back to Stony Island, all over East, everywhere.
Started y'all rap group?
Yeah, you feel me? Like, we grew up rapping, and shit, we pretty much had the drill shit down before it was even called drill.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas would go back and hear our shit, and even down to the fucking lingo niggas use nowadays. That was us, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And it wasn't nothing that we was just doing to try and do it. It was just, we just talked about what we did every motherfucking day, really.
For sure.
And you know, those unfortunate events happened with bro.
May I ask how old were you when that happened?
I was 19 at the time.
Wow.
I was 19, bro, just turned 20.
Wow.
21.
Yeah, so you was 20.
Was I 20?
You had to, because he...
Yeah, because I was 21, 22.
Yeah, he turned 21 February 3rd, and July 13th, not even that same year.
Yeah, I had just turned 20.
Is when, yeah.
And even from that point, like, me and bro, we had the same case. You know what I'm saying? He was my co-defendant, so him and my other brother who couldn't be here because of those same unfortunate events, you know what I'm saying? Stacks Money. You know what I mean? We all had the same case. And you know, bro left me shit a month and a half before I turned myself in, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it was definitely hard dealing with that shit every day. Being in the beam, you know what I'm saying, fighting for my life and just all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even since then, you know, just dealing with that, and also, you know, the young ones back in the world. I got a little brother who, when I was gone, it seemed like he was going through exactly what I went through.
So it was like the cycle repeated itself.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So was this like one of the first major losses you took, you would say? Like, or no?
As far as a close friend, yeah.
Wow.
Like, I known bro since before I could remember.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
5 years old.
If that,
real,
you know what I mean? Like,
real.
his uncle, my uncle was best friends.
Yeah.
And we was around each other, and we grew up with one another.
And that's the thing. The kids that grew up in the neighborhood, all the parents were cool with each other.
Yeah.
Like, all the parents knew each other. So the fact that a lot of the killings took place right in the neighborhood, I feel like, what could we have done as parents to stop that?
For sure.
Because it's definitely a life-changing thing. And if you haven't lost a child, you really can only sympathize with another parent on what it may feel like. But until you walk that walk, when I had to walk that walk, July 13th, 2011, and come here and my son go in his ground. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even watch him be lowered in the ground. I had to go back to the car. I couldn't even see that because I couldn't even fathom that I was burying my only son. I got daughters, but that was my firstborn and my only son. So we were raised in a neighborhood where all, like I said, all the parents hung out together before we even had kids. So for it to come to this, it's like, what could we have done? You know, and I thought I did everything right. My son was in Catholic school, then he was in a black belt in karate, he did basketball, football, Boy Scouts. Like, I thought I was doing the right thing. But what we don't talk about enough is I married the gang. I brought the gang in my house, right? If I married a Blackstone, what I expect? Then my son wanted to make his own name. He didn't want to follow the steps of his father and his uncle, so he was GD. And it's the things that we don't talk about, because I don't know if people don't, you know, embarrassed, but this is my story. This is reality. You know what I'm saying? And it's things also that as parents, we could do differently to stop a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? So if I married the gang, what do I expect gonna happen?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So even though I thought I could change him, but that's still what it was. No matter how he was a husband at home, the streets are still attached to him.
Facts.
It's like it never leaves you. And then it just go on and on and on, you know?
Yeah.
So I know my ex-husband and his dad hung out a whole lot, you know? So it's just one of them things like, what could we have done? Now, even when they got to the point of starting to hang out, myself, our friend, our other, that we lost in 2020, his mom, it's another young lady named Shanita. Like, we hit them blocks. We chased them off corners. Like, I done went a one-way streets. Like, get up off this corner. Like, we have done that, but maybe, and we also needed more men to step up and do that. You know what I'm saying? So you had the mothers out there trying, and whenever we would get wind of a beef in the neighborhood, we would try to put a stop to it. Like, I've literally had, you know, when I had Jadelle and them come to the crib and sit down and have a dinner with Qua and them trying to squash some beef that had started. Like, then when there was another beef with the one who's one of the twins, like, I literally used to try to stop these beefs because there's people in the same neighborhood, different gangs, like, but we all, like, it didn't make sense to me. Richard is the level-headed one. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, he would always try to talk to them. No matter what they did, though, he never left them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they remained loyal to each other. So loyal that you could be so loyal that it's to a default that's kind of how they lost their life, for being loyal. Too loyal, because you're loyal to people who don't give a care about you. You know what I'm saying? All they gonna do, they gonna come to the funeral, they gonna come to the cemetery, you know, turn up, they gonna wear them shirts, then they going about their life. It stops from there. My son's real friends, that never happened. They have not left my side in all these years.
Right.
But the other ones, where they at?
For sure.
They smiling in your face, and then they going to shake up with the killer too. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
So I tried to do everything the right way to get justice for my son. It didn't happen, and that turned me into something that I never thought I would be.
Can you speak on that a little bit more, please?
Which part?
How it turned, like you saying.
How I turned into something.
So like you saying like you expect the police that's supposed to be here to serve and protect, right? Yeah. But they ain't really do that and get justice for that. So that kind of made you feel like you was lost in this world a little bit. Or?
So let me tell you, it's not the police. The police make the arrest. It's the judges. It's all the people behind the scenes that we don't talk about. The aldermen, all of them play a part. The police make the arrest, but then what happens after that is out of their hands, right? They can make the arrest and say, you know, this is first-degree murder. That's what the initial charge was. But the judge is like, he said he didn't mean to do it, and he's released, right?
Wow.
Then he commits several other crimes, and he keeps getting released. Now, what do you think that's doing to me as a mother?
That's just tearing you apart right there.
Man, it's like the knife going in the front and the back. So now I'm studying, trying to, you know, like, I'm trying to get help. Now I'm like, okay.
And that make you take advantage in your own hands.
Hello. This is why that keeps going on.
That make you get your own justice.
Yeah.
That part.
You want your justice for
that
part.
So
So it feel like you not even safe because somebody you know that harms your brother, your son, just in general, your family member.
Exactly.
That's still out here. So
and
it's
in the
like
same neighborhood. Like I know his mama. We're in the same neighborhood. I knew his mama before we had kids. You know what I'm saying?
So are you still able to speak to his mom? I don't mean to cut you off.
I haven't seen her. You know, I left Chicago for 6 years because if I wouldn't have left, I wouldn't be talking to you today. I would be in the penitentiary because that's how relentless my pursuit was in trying to murder my son's killer.
Wow.
Jumping out of cars, pulling up, like, I know where people live, pulling up, like, I mean, and they pretty much gave up their lives babysitting me, like chasing me down, because they knew with or without them, I was going out there by myself. Like, I don't need an army. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because it's in my mind was dead set on, oh no, your mama got to walk that walk that I had to walk. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's how I felt like.
So he was pretty much a mama bear mode.
Man, what? That's my firstborn. My firstborn. You know, and my only son. And it's like, and when you think of it in the aspect of he's outside with the people in this neighborhood that everybody grew up together, not the ops that came from the other side. But, you know, that would have hurt too, but it's like people you're around every day that really don't like you. And that's really how this be going. So how do you, like, I love what you're doing with the pushing the peace movement, but how do you do that when snakes be standing right next to you calling themselves friends?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I would love for it to get to the point we could push the peace, you know, and for people to realize that this don't just stop on the streets. This goes deep in family. You know what I'm saying? Things never change. Like, you know, it gets better, but it took for God to send me out of town for me to even begin the process of healing. You know what I'm saying?
100%. So you feel like when you stuck in that environment, it kind of just...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's for certain. Like,
yeah.
Our neighborhood, and I'm sure it's like many other neighborhoods where my grandma been there for generations.
Yes.
His grandma been there for generations.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And those generations keep having kids. We all go to the same neighborhood school. Yes. Everybody know each other. You feel me? And it becomes a revolving door because wars are inherited.
Woo.
So nigga killed your uncle some years back.
Yeah.
You inherit that war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit just keep revolving.
Yeah.
So if you have a seed and you still in that environment, not even just the environment, you still in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't doing right, your seed gonna grow up and he's gonna inherit whatever war you put him in.
For sure.
That's just what it is.
Sometimes, like, I feel like it's deeper than that sometimes, to your point, because, like, you know how you said you did the best you could, you did everything you could, but, like, you did everything you could, but you ever heard the phrase, it take a village to raise a child?
Absolutely.
So what, besides you doing it, who's in the village? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's another point, like the village, you get to the point nowadays where you got mothers and fathers, nobody better not touch my kid. But if nobody's looking after your kid and you not around, you know what I mean? It ain't about, because us as black men, it's a stigma saying that we not in our child's lives. And that's been proven to be a lie, especially nowadays. I'm definitely in my son's life. I don't know no black man that had kids and they not in their child life. I don't know any. You know what I mean?
100%.
But we work as well. You know what I mean? We got other things that we got to do because we got to provide.
But let me speak on that. The difference is, like, for me, my husband at that time was there, right? But you might as well have not been there if you're not going to spend time with your son. And I'm not going to bash him because, you know, this is just reality, right? If you are in the same household but you're not taking up that time with your son, you know, and he, you know what I'm saying, he looking at you, but mama trying to grab a hold of him. I'm at the barbershop with him. I'm at karate with him. I'm at all the activities with him. Like, you're right there and you're not doing it. So that does, but again, I'm gonna tell you this, I decided to marry the game, right? So now I got to deal with all that comes with that because of the choices that I made. And so for me, it ain't about a pity party, it ain't about none of that. It's just accountability. Like, for real, like, I knew what came with that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what who you're connected to, what's attached to their root, to the root of the family. You gotta know all of that. You know what I'm saying? And it really plays a part in the environment that your kids are in. Like, for instance, my son's uncle, which is my ex-husband's brother. Some of our people that was in our wedding, he got into it with. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this is so connected. That's what's so sad. Like, one neighborhood that just started out like, you ain't have all that. Then we got kids, and now like, okay, our kids killing each other. Make this make sense.
So what you think made that like start off and get to that point and make it so deep? Like,
It's probably a little hatred, jealousy.
Man, it's some of everything.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
You don't
Like,
think jealousy play a part? Like
absolutely.
when y'all had
In terms of bro, yeah, it was absolutely jealousy.
For sure.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
You talking about a man who wanted to protect everybody.
Yep. Had the
And-
respect of a lot of people in
And
the hood.
it had that respect. He wanted to protect everybody. He had the respect of everybody. And it took a man, I ain't gonna even call him a man, but it took a person, a being, to take his life over who fucking knows what. To this day, we don't even know exactly what it was.
Right.
I'm just gonna make that assumption. It was jealousy.
for
Simple
sure.
as that.
so this is like the person. I ain't trying to make it sound like some 12, you know.
That's whatever you
Yeah,
got,
but like,
bro.
so the person who did it, you knew him, like you grew up
Absolutely.
with
What's
him.
crazy is, bro, I used to be a stick-up kid, right?
For sure.
This little nigga wanted to come up in that game.
Yeah.
I took him under my wing, right?
Wow.
He was a hot-head little nigga, so bro told me, hey, stop hanging with him. He do this, he do that. I'm for sure, you right. Mind you, these niggas is, they folks, all kind of shit, bro, I ride the fire, you feel me? One of the only niggas over there that did it in my crowd, you know what I'm saying? So you right. Turn around some months later, bro, start kicking it with him. And it hurt me because, bro, you told me to stop hanging with this
So
nigga.
it made you feel, it felt hypocritical in a way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hurt because of that. Like, you didn't take your own advice, my nigga. Like, you
Right.
knew. You know what I mean? You knew. You told me. And I wish you would have just took that advice, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't just that he's hanging with him. I wouldn't say he was just hanging with him, but like I said, bro wants to save everybody. You know what I mean?
You know, like sometimes I feel like you don't necessarily pick your friends, you know?
Yeah. No,
Sometimes it be forced on you. You know?
And
But
in
the
that
kicker
case,
part,
it
this
kind of
was a
is.
shorty. Like he was a, my son was 21, he was 16. He was a shorty.
Wow.
You know, my son was dating his sister. Like, so I think it was one of them where let's look out for the shorties. But the shorties done wreaked havoc in the neighborhood and caused a lot of drama. You know what I'm saying? So what happens then? But
sure.
then he didn't have his father. His father, this little shorty, his father was in jail for murder. He killed a 16-year-old boy that I knew. You know what I'm saying? On some robbery stuff.
Dang.
So it's just sad when it's one neighborhood and this is what we come to. This is what it comes to. You know what I mean? Where it started getting to a point on Dobson, bodies was just dropping. Like, you know?
For sure.
So for me, I was on a relentless pursuit, and I feel like God saved my life by sending me to Missouri. I went to a little small town in Missouri, like with a population of 6,000, and I didn't understand why I was there. We had no family there, but I knew that I had to do something different because I had daughters now, 3 daughters. Because not to mention 6 months after I lost my son, I got pregnant. I was done having kids, but the pregnancy didn't even stop me from trying to chase and kill the man. You know what I'm saying? The pregnancy didn't even slow that down. But if I wouldn't have went, I don't know where I would be today.
Wow.
If I wouldn't have went to Missouri. Like, you know, they tried to stop me, but they never left my side through everything. If they'll tell you our conversation was murder, how can we get back? Murder. I'll never forget, I went and ordered the darkest, ugliest mask. And I'm like, I'm about to put this mask on, I'm about to hit, you know? And it was crazy. There's my other son. That's Arnez. That's another one that was by my side every day.
Shit, he was the one the most.
Yeah,
I was
for
gone.
sure. The one the most. So come here, son. But Richie, you ain't got nothing to say. Why you quiet?
I don't got too much to say.
I understand.
So do you got any advice to give mothers who have lost a son or a child in general?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure I'm not the only mother that has wanted revenge and get back. I'm sure I'm not the only mother that has felt that way. Because, you know, it's like, are we all about to be in the grocery store together? Like, you see, you know what I'm saying? You see the person that took your child's life and you just out here like people don't understand what that can do to you. You know what I mean? So I do think that people, the environment and who you're around, it plays a critical part in your healing. You don't have to stay stuck there. You can turn it around. Like now, we celebrate my son's life, and we celebrate the time we had with him. We don't, you know, now start to think about the murder. We've released that, we let that go, and now is what I'm doing now. Like I do a She Found Her ministry to help women, because you gotta get to therapy. You gotta get with God. Like it's a process. It's not overnight. And I'll tell people, don't let nobody rush you into the healing process. If you just lose your son or your daughter, because now we losing girls just as much as guys, don't let somebody rush you into the process. But who you're around and who in your ear plays a huge part in your healing journey. 100%. For real. Get with God. You know, move around by yourself if you can, if you are, because everybody's not able to just jump up and move. I understand that. And when I did it, I didn't save up money to move. I took one paycheck and was gone. I didn't know what we was gonna do. We got there, I went to food pantries and got food. Like I did what I had to do to survive, but I knew that it saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, you gotta start looking at it like how important you are to yourself. And what do you think your child who's long gone will want for you? Your child ain't gonna want, my son wouldn't have want me out in the streets turned up like that, running up with guns in my hand, pregnant. Like, he wouldn't have wanted that for me. So I had to, and I'm gonna tell you, it had to be God, because I probably wouldn't have left on my own. Once I got there, I didn't even understand why I was there. But don't be resistance to whatever God is telling you to do. Don't resist it. Do what you need to do to save yourself, to heal, for real, because a lot of times, though, we lose friends of our, like we lost Chauncey, and it takes you back. Chauncey and Dante was so close too that losing him was almost a setback, because that's how close they was, you know. But I was in Missouri when that happened. Came up here, I had to see my son's killer at the funeral. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That's how related, that's how close the neighborhood is. You know? Yeah.
Like I said, I left and I had to do it big, like a month and a half after bro. I carried bro to this place, you know what I'm saying? And I had to go. And the whole time I was in there, I could only think to myself, because like I said, it was 3 of us. Stacks was on that case with me, and we was luckily enough to be it together. You know what I'm saying? For the year and a half he was there with me. And I can only think to myself every day, you know, what would I do to that man when I see him when I get out? You know what I'm saying? And it took years for me to build up all the strength. And the first time I ever seen him, we was in a family member house. We share the same family member. Wow. That's how close our neighborhood is. Everybody's related in some form or fashion. You know what I'm saying? And we in a family member house. And I'm playing the game with one of the guys and shit, and I'm just like, bro walked through the door, and I'm just thinking, bro, I could kill this man with my fucking hands right here, right now. And it took everything in me to not put that controller down and do just that. You know what I'm saying? And
so what got you to that point to be able to be like that?
Bro, I had to go to hell to find God. And not God in the sense of, I'm not a Christian, you know what I'm saying? I became a Muslim when I was 15.
Salam alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, rahmatullah. You feel me? But just, I believe you gotta elevate. You gotta elevate. You gotta keep growing. And you can't be afraid of growing.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? At all. Even when you think you found God and you think you grew enough, it's always something to learn. I always gotta feed my brain. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And just maturing, growing, you know what I'm saying? And I had 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time, like I said, we in a family member crib. I stayed around the corner at the time in the manor. You feel me? I got 2 shorties at the crib. Is it really worth me doing something to this man and now my 2 boys gonna fall in the same cycle that I fucking went through? Nah, that wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't worth it at all. And that's really what it was, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got out, I was on the same bullshit I was on. And sure enough, not even a year, I ain't been out. I got a seed on the way. You know what I mean? And I knew what the fuck I wanted to do with him. I want him to be like me. But I want him to be the real me, the me that I know that I could be. You know what I'm saying? A fucking man.
For sure.
I got 2 boys, I'm raising men, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it was for me.
That's beautiful though, bro.
It don't take much, in my opinion. But you also gotta wanna break that cycle. Like I said, if everybody grew up in the same neighborhood and you inherit the same trauma, you gonna go through the same thing. I ain't letting my seeds go through that.
For sure.
Not at all.
So what could you say to the people that did inherit that same trauma but want better? Like, you know?
If you want better, you'll do better. It really ain't a science to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not a science. Just do it.
For sure.
For real, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have those days where it seemed like you gonna be on bullshit. It's in simplest terms. That's the only way I can put it. But just sit back, relax, and take the time and think about the consequences. Think about the pros and cons.
For sure.
Think about the pros and cons for real. And then you will realize that them cons probably gonna outweigh them pros.
Yeah.
For sure.
You feel me? Like,
100%.
I done seen the side of this shit. I done been to jail. I've been to prison. I done seen my best friends. I carried my best friends into a fucking hole. You feel me? I done seen my mama cry in a fucking courtroom, bro. I done seen the inside of it. I done seen snake shit happen. Niggas opening the back door. I done seen everything you can see to it.
Yeah.
It's up to you to decide what way you want to go. And I'm gonna be completely honest, because a lot of people not being honest nowadays. A lot of niggas is not gonna choose correctly. It's a red or a blue pill. Which one you gonna decide?
Facts.
Everybody not gonna choose properly.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to decide that. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But the longer
That's just
you in
what it
that
is.
environment, the deeper you go down that dark hole.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
longer I was around there, like it was so bad. My daughter, she's not here right now. She in the city. She's 26 now. She was 15 when it happened. She's 27. How old is she? She was 15 when it happened,
Yeah, she
and
like
she said, "Mama, let me do it, cause I could do it and get away with it." I was so gone here mentally. I was like, "Bet, let's do it," and was really trying to plot out how to have her do it, cause I know she was gonna get away with it 15 years old.
Wow.
So that's how far gone. That's why I'm saying, like, it's so much to tell, because we was going through this for years. Like, we didn't calm down till 2018. 2018, they was like a little neighborhood reunion, and it was the end of the night, and it was a few people still outside, and I'm standing out there because I didn't let them talk me coming up there. I kind of stayed away from certain parts of the neighborhood to keep myself sane, because now imagine I'm living in Missouri then, so I drive up here and visit him. He pull up. He stopped his car right in front of me. Now you asking for trouble. You gonna stop right in front of me, and I see who it is. One of my son's acquaintances, because it wasn't one of his buddies.
Yeah.
Standing there with, what's that big long gun? And I reached for the gun. I told that nigga, you get out the car right now, you down right here today. Like, I didn't care who was around. I didn't care who saw it. I had already told my mama, take care of my daughters, because I know what I was gonna do. So there was no fear. There's no fear when you out here for your kids, man. There's no fear at all. What can you do? All you can do is take my body, but you can't take my soul. You know what I'm saying? There was no fear. So that's how, if you don't change your mindset, like he was saying, you go down that dark hole and you go deeper and deeper. If you think demons ain't real, they real. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna help you go down that dark hole deeper and deeper by intruding your thoughts and making you want to do things that you know you normally wouldn't do. And then the alcohol, drugs. We didn't do drugs, but we drank alcohol. I used to drink Remy with Red Bull, and it turned me up, you know. So it's all of that that'll enhance that. So if it wasn't for me leaving the environment, like I said, I know everybody can't leave the environment, but you got to do something for your mental state. You know, mental health is real. You got to do something for your mental state.
100%.
I'm trying to get my other son to come over here, because he was in the trenches with me every time. Like, he has a son, and he pretty much neglected his time with his son because he was in the trenches with me, because he's gone. Richard tried to keep us level-headed, but me and him, we was in the trenches.
Let me out.
I told him about that in the car.
You told him
So
let down?
it was so bad that we did have a scene from Boys in the Hood unintentionally. Like, it wasn't even intentional that it happened. But I was 8 months pregnant, because 6 months after I lost my son, I got pregnant in the new marriage that I'm in now. And it didn't stop me from wanting to get back. So we saw him. I hopped out. He was so mad at us. We just was reckless.
Yeah, because I'm in the
I
car.
was reckless.
I'm in the car with a pregnant woman with a gun.
Keep us all level-headed. Like, and he definitely was that voice of reason for all of them. But everybody still made their choices, you know. So he has a son, and I just, you know, think about how much of his time that he took away from his son keeping up with me, because I was one of them. I'm going with or without anybody. I didn't care, and he would be right there. Like, he gave up so much of his time that he could have spent with his mom, his, you know, so much other things he could have been doing. He was right there by my side, you know, right there. So he had to get on camera. I don't care, because he's too much a part of the story. You know what I'm saying? But even when we understand this, even when we went to Missouri, they drove down there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't just say, y'all in Missouri, now we forgot about y'all. You know, I still would drive up here for this day. And if I couldn't make it, they would FaceTime me at the grave and then go to a restaurant, and we go to a restaurant there and we on FaceTime like we together. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how loyal they have all been.
So they made that effort.
That means so much. Like, he didn't come for her graduations. Like, they've been, you know, he helped me move back here. Like, he was one of the ones.
I didn't really know them really until he died.
You knew me because you've been on my house on Langley.
Yeah, but we
didn't know close. Each other. Yeah, for sure.
I never met his sisters until he died.
Okay. Right, because I used to always tell you to make sure they out there doing the right thing. So yeah, we didn't get to know each other until after.
All of us met each other through him.
Yeah.
I'm always the dividing factor.
Yeah, because him and Dante from Little Shorty.
Yeah, me and Chili, man, he introduced us to everybody.
Yeah, and that Chili was another one, and we lost him he just died on the bus while riding the bus.
Wow.
And he was an amazing artist. He's one who he was one who was gonna go to college, right, in Paris for a scholarship, because that's how cold he was in art. But he didn't want to leave the hood.
Dang.
See how the hood just sucks you in like that?
Yeah.
Well, you giving up dreams, you giving up so much because you're loyal to the hood, and they don't love you back. A lot of them don't love you back.
It ain't just us.
No, it's not.
This is a worldwide.
The urban community is, this is where the talent comes from. Especially us being so-called Black Americans. That's where the talent comes from, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the artists.
Everybody right here probably got some.
Everybody got something.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to show that. You feel me? Especially if you into music, bro. Like,
come here, son.
Let's be honest, bro. That drill shit ain't taking you nowhere.
Yeah.
For real.
It's not taking you nowhere. That Chief Keef shit dead. Everybody want to shoot a video like
that. Taking them
right there.
Here. That's what you should
right there,
man, for sure.
That's exactly where it's taking
right
brother.
Here.
That drill shit ain't taking you nowhere but right there, bro.
It's a lot of young men that died.
I could see when the city was popping and everybody wanted a drill. They don't want that shit no more, bro.
We see it. It's happening daily now.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And this ain't in no cliche stuff.
It's not. It's not cliche at all. This is in real time. This shit is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is a couple days. I don't even know. Just died a couple days ago. I'm sure you know. You know what I'm saying?
All of them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah. That's.
What you put in the universe gonna come back.
100%.
Simple as that.
Connected, like our neighborhood, Flipside. How did we get Flipside?
I don't claim Flipside.
Right.
I'm 93rd, bro.
Right.
I'm BSC.
But
I'm 93rd.
so many people.
Woodlawn, Avalon, sometime Dawson.
Like he said, everybody was related. Like everybody was family. Everybody, you know, it was crazy. But I think also like Dante and Chauncey wanted a different name for themselves. They didn't want to be under their father's name. They didn't want to ride off of that. Both of their fathers was Blackstones, you know, and they wanted their own name, and they was well respected, and jealousy definitely came with that. It definitely came with that. So it's just, I don't know if it'll ever stop. I pray it do, but I can't tell somebody not to feel how I felt. You know what I mean? I can pray
100%.
that they go get, but I can't. I would be a hypocrite and be like, don't you dare feel like getting remarried. I can't say that because I know how dark that rabbit hole was when I went there. You know what I'm saying? So I do pray that, you know, people surrender to God fully. I pray that people, you know, heal, get mental health, like, and don't be ashamed of it. Like, I had a young man say, how can I go to therapy without being judged by my family? We shouldn't be judging nobody for wanting therapy. It helps, you know what I'm saying, at all. So that just shows you how our families, you know, can either help us or hinder us, you know? So you should never feel like you can't go get help for yourself. And that's the sad part that we're in, the times we're in, that we have too many people close to us that are jealous of your elevation or your growth or you healing. You be surprised, you know?
That's what caused a lot of this stuff
For sure. So then that means that person who got that, all that, you know, in their heart, that demonic stuff in their heart, they got to do something. You got to do something different. You have to, because we're doing exactly what they want us to do. It's like they throw a ball in the middle of a highway and we run out there and get that ball. They doing exactly what they want us to do. Like, we don't have to hang and kill y'all no more. We gonna let y'all do it. We gonna make sure the guns are provided. We gonna give y'all everything you need, the drugs, everything you need, so y'all can take yourselves out.
Wow.
And they're provided. I've heard somebody say you can go get a gun as fast as you can go in the restaurant and get a cheeseburger. Why is that?
It's all by design.
Exactly.
It's all design.
Exactly. So that's why we had to wake up, because we're filling up when I tell you, when my son, when we buried him, and now the young men that have been laid to rest, it's a family over there right now who's over there with their loved one. We lost them to the streets. You know what I mean? It's in this wall behind here that was lost to the streets. Like, it's so many graves that have come since my son. And a lot of it is young people.
Yeah.
Why? We making the funeral homes rich. We making the cemeteries rich. Premature deaths. And we be like, it was his time. No, it wasn't. God didn't tell that man to go pick up a gun and take another's life. You can't take a life that you didn't create. You shouldn't even be able to do that. But you know what? It makes it easier because they slap them on the wrist and let them back out of jail. But somebody get caught with some weed, get 40 years. Make that make sense. 100%. It's not making sense at all.
Not only that, everybody not gonna love your mama the way that you love her.
For sure.
Everybody not gonna stand beside her.
That's for sure.
Even the way you see her standing beside bro mama. They not gonna do that. You gonna go in that hole and niggas gonna leave you right there.
Sure. Ooh.
Simple
right
as that. And you may not be the one that go in that hole. Somebody you love gonna go in there, motherfucker. That's just reality.
That's reality.
If you keep going the way you go, somebody gonna go in there.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be your burden to carry, how you carry.
Yeah. But they're the only ones that can come around me. Like, we've been doing this since forever, and it's never gonna change. They've been by my side, and just the, you know, awesome young men they have turned into, what they're doing with their lives, just like amazing entrepreneurs, like doing it. And they saw, like, yeah, something has to change. We can't stay the same, and they did something positive, and still is. He got sons. He got 2 sons. He got 1. Rich is still like, nah, I'm chilling. But
my sons is his actual nephew.
Right.
Oh, y'all
married to his sister.
Oh, dang. That's deep then.
Yeah, for sure.
And I knew bro before I knew his sisters.
Yep. For sure.
You had to get in the gauntlet real quick. Like,
Right.
You feel me? I won. You feel me?
But that's just how the neighborhood was.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, if people understood, if we can get them that love back in the neighborhood so these kids can live, these babies are dying, it just doesn't make sense. It should never be where a kid can't go outside and play.
Facts.
You know? All we do is hurt each other, and it's just an ongoing cycle. But I just want everybody to think, who we helping the most by doing this to each other? Who's benefiting the most? Who is happy about us doing this?
Wow, that's deep right there.
For sure. Yep.